Hey friend, I have a question. When is the last time that you actually drank more than a glass of water a day? If you had to think about that for a second, stick with me because today I'm going to talk with you about something that it honestly is so simple that it almost feels like this can't actually be the thing I need to do. But it might be a real piece of why you might be getting headaches or feeling a lot of brain fog in the afternoon hours. So let's talk about it.
Welcome to Chronic Illness Moms. If you're more than just a tired mom, I'm talking trying to make it through the day without crashing by noon while raising neurodivergent kids, you're not alone. I'm Ashley, a wife, mom, and certified health coach. I have lived with autoimmune disease and flare-ups that made everyday life feel harder than it should. After years of pushing through and burning out, I learned how much stress, poor sleep, and nervous system overload were driving my symptoms. Everything changed when I started building small, realistic habits that actually supported my body instead of fighting it. In this podcast, you'll learn simple habits that help you to feel better. So pop in your earbuds and take a break from the chaos. It's you time.
I can think back to several times where I had noticed just this afternoon energy crash or getting headaches for days in a row. And whenever I would stop and think, I would realize, oh my goodness, I have not drank anything since my coffee this morning. And, I would hit the afternoon, woke up, I was feeling okay, but then by the afternoon, I couldn't think straight. I felt exhausted. I could feel a headache coming on. And what I assumed was something else, like brain fog was caused by something else, or maybe the headache was not sleeping well enough or something like that. But then when I would actually look back and think, how much water have I drank today? I realized, oh my goodness, I am not meeting my water goals. And very likely that could be connected to why I am feeling this way. And I want to just hear from you. Have you had a moment like that? A connection with really the brain fog or the headaches and realizing you are not getting enough water in your day? Whatever that moment might look like for you, I just want to say that it sounds so simple to say, oh, drink enough water. But the reality is you will pour a cup of water for your kid before you've had one yourself, or you get busy. Just taking care of life, keeping up with the schedule, all of those things. And it's not because you don't care about taking care of your own body. It's just because you are meeting everyone else's needs. You're taking care of the house. You're taking care of everything else. And sometimes we just forget about our own needs. Water is not necessarily something that we notice the cues that our body is giving us as much as we would for something like hunger. So a lot of times the cues that you need water might be a little bit quieter, that those symptoms are not as loud. And so it gets skipped over and over day after day. You're just not getting enough water until really those symptoms become something more severe, like a headache or an energy crash or things like that are a little bit harder to ignore. But even still, sometimes we still don't relate those symptoms to the fact that we need to be hydrated. So let's talk about what to do with that, because, I don't want to just say, okay, drink more water and move on, because I don't think that that's really useful. Most of us know that we need to drink more water. That's not the issue. So the first thing to focus on is figure out how many ounces of water a day are you actually wanting to aim for. A simple target would be just half of your body weight in fluid ounces of water a day. So let's say you are 160 pounds, that's going to be 80 ounces of water. I really like this because it's not like this random 8 glasses of water rule that has nothing to do with your actual body or size. It is tied to you specifically. Your body is mostly water, and every system that you are trying to support, so your brain, your joints, your lymphatic system, all of that needs enough water in order to function as best as possible. Even whenever you're just mildly dehydrated, that can show up as things like fatigue, headaches. It can also cause that like foggy, can't really think or focus feeling. It can also cause like joint pain because we need water to lubricate our joints. So when you think, okay, I can do the math just this one time to figure out what my goal is of water a day. How many ounces of water should I aim for? And then try to keep something visual around. So maybe it's you have a glass and I know I need to drink 2 or 3 of these glasses a day in order to meet that goal. That way you're not having to actually track ounces every single day. You're doing the math one time. You're figuring up, these are the ounces that I need. Here is the container that I need and how many of this I need to drink a day. And that just makes it easier because, again, we've done the math once. We're deciding in advance. We already have the tools and resources that we need set up for success. And also it just makes it easier to keep track of, which is very, very helpful. Okay, so the other thing I want to talk about is, because I think that sometimes we think, oh, I just need to drink water, and that is true. And we also need electrolytes, but that's a different episode. But the other thing we need to think about is, what kind of water are you drinking? I will say I do believe filtered water matters. It really does matter. It's not just about hitting the ounces of water you need in a day. Tap water can carry chlorine and other contaminants that your body has to process. And that is just one more thing added to your system, and your system is already managing a lot. So if you've heard me talk before about like the hidden stress load that we carry, this can be part of it. The everyday inputs that you are giving it that just add up over time. And the good news is you don't have to get this expensive whole house system to start. I personally use the Pro 1 filter. It is a little bit of a bigger container. It can hold up to 2 gallons. The reason why I like it is because it does also filter out fluoride. So you want to do a little bit of research. There are obviously like pitcher filters that you can get and you can keep in your refrigerator, which would work fine. I will say I don't think a lot of those filter out fluoride. So if that is something that you are wanting to try to avoid, absolutely do a little bit of digging into that. But making sure that the quality of water that you are drinking is actually going to be not introducing things to your body that it's then going to have to process and break down, that can be a huge next step as well. Then the other thing to do to set yourself up for success is to pair the habit of drinking water with something that you are already doing. This is one that I find can be very helpful, especially if you struggle to remember to drink water like I do. Pair the habit of that glass, that cup, whatever it is that you're using, of having that and keeping it handy with some other habit that you already do consistently. So maybe it's every time your kids need a drink of water and you fill up their cup, you fill up yours too. You're already there at the sink. You are already reaching for a cup or there at your filter, whatever it is that you're using. It costs you really no extra time or effort, or very little. And it means that you are not relying on remembering water like as its own separate step. You're already pairing it with something that you've already done. Something else that I do, I have to take thyroid medicine in the morning. So pairing drinking 1 glass of water whenever I drink my thyroid medicine at the same time, that has been one way in the past that's been helpful for me to remember is that time, because I know I'm going to do it every morning. So just finding some other habit or task or routine that you do every single day and pairing drinking 1 glass of water with it. The other thing I want to say is start small. Like we say with anything, yes, maybe you need to drink 80 ounces of water a day, but if you are currently only drinking 8, I would not try to push yourself to say, okay, now I have to go from 8 to 80 tomorrow, because you're going to be in the bathroom all day, but also the likelihood is that you won't stick with that. So let's say you are drinking 1 8-ounce glass of water right now. Now let's just bump it up to 2. So where can you, in your day, where can you put in that habit? So really it's habit stacking, because you're already doing one habit. Let's stack another habit on it that you need to do, which is to drink another cup of water. So pick the activity that you're already doing that would be the most convenient for you. For instance, the thyroid medicine. I already need something to drink when I take that thyroid medicine. The other example, if you are getting your child a drink, you are already right there. So pick the activity that is going to give you the least amount of resistance in order for you to make it happen. And then just start with 1 extra cup, 1 extra glass, whatever that looks like for you. And once you have that habit and that routine really locked in, move up from there. Let's figure out another place you can add an additional cup or glass and move forward that way. So just a quick recap. This is a really short, simple episode, but aim for half of your body weight in ounces a day of water, but also take the time to see, can I get some kind of filter for my water, so that you are making sure you are having as good of quality of water as possible. And then pair that activity of increasing your water intake with something that you are already doing, like taking medicine, filling up your kid's cup. Maybe it's doing the dishes, whatever it is that's already going to be, you're already going to be in that area. You have a designated cup and you know exactly what the plan is. Okay, so the one small thing I want you to focus on for this week is to do the math on the amount of water in ounces you need a day. Remember, it's half your body weight in ounces. And then get like one place that is like a visual cue place for you. That can be a specific glass, maybe it's a marked bottle, whatever it is that's going to keep it in front of you, especially in the time frame that you've chosen the habit to pair it with, so that you're not having to think about it. You go to take the medicine and you see the glass right there, or you obviously naturally just know the glass, maybe you have it in the front of your cabinet and you're able to just pull it out and get a drink. Whatever it is that works for you. But just giving yourself that visual cue and then just do that day after day. Slow increase over time, but just notice, give yourself some time. And then after a few days, notice, does anything shift? Do I have a little bit more energy? Am I not noticing as many headaches? Maybe you have a little bit more focus in the afternoon. Again, you don't have to overhaul everything this week. You don't have to jump an insane amount of ounces a day. Just focus on one thing. All right, friend, if this episode has you thinking about your own version of really forgetting to take care of yourself and how you struggle to remember those cues or those times of how you can take care of your own body when you are also so busy taking care of your kids and your house and your job and all of the other things, I would just love to hear about it inside of our free Facebook community. I will have that linked down in the show notes, but tell us more about it. Tell us what you found that's been helpful for you in giving yourself these little reminders that you need to take care of yourself too. And also, if sometimes feeling better and the goal of feeling better, of keeping up with your kids, it's not always about adding these huge complicated routines or protocols. Sometimes it's just about remembering to do one simple thing and do it consistently over time. Next week, we are going to be talking about 5 ingredients that I keep out of our home and why they matter more than you think. I will see you guys then.
Hey friend, I hope you found today's episode helpful. If you did, would you take a minute to share it with another mom who's struggling with chronic symptoms? And leave a review on Apple Podcasts. It means the world to me to know this podcast is making a difference for you. All right, it's time for me to go tackle those snack requests, and remember that a short walk, even if the kids turn it into a race, still counts as self-care. Keep chasing those little wins. Even when it feels messy, you're making progress. The information shared in this podcast is for educational and informational purposes only and is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always consult your healthcare provider before making any changes to your health routine. I'm not a doctor, and this podcast is not intended to treat or diagnose any condition. You're the expert on your body. Listen to it and reach out to a trusted provider for support.